All right, sixth graders, we are continuing along with this idea of ratios today, and I've got a couple different scenarios that I want you to look at to make sure you're all on board with what we're doing today. So, this first one here says a bag contains yellow marbles and blue marbles. You are given the number of yellow marbles in the bag and the ratio of yellow marbles to blue marbles. Find the number of blue marbles in the bag. So I'm going to repeat that again. We have a bag. Inside that bag are yellow marbles and blue marbles. We're not sure how many of each until we do this specific problem. The problem is going to give you the number of yellow marbles, and it's going to give you the ratio of yellow marbles to blue marbles. Find the number of blue marbles in the bag. So, here we go. This first one, the bag has 8 yellow marbles, and the ratio is 2 to 5. Well, this is how really Mr. Swack recommends you setting them up, and that's just as an equivalent fraction. And some of you are going to be able to do this mental math, So we know that the ratio is 2 to 5, so I can set up a fraction 2 over 5. All right? 2 yellow marbles for every 5 blue marbles. But we know in the bag there are 8 yellow marbles because it tells us that right there. Our job is to figure out this number right here. So I think, well, what did I do to 2 to get 8? Now remember, with equivalent ratios, equivalent fractions, it's all about multiplying and dividing. Don't say, well, you did 2 plus 6. It has to be multiplication or division. And as a sixth grader, you should realize, well, it's 2 times 4 that gave us 8. So if I did 2 times 4 to get 8, I've got to do 5 times 4 to get this number here. And 5 times 4 is 20. So that tells me that there were 20 blue marbles in that bag. Let's look at the next one. This one says there's 20 yellow marbles and the ratio is 4 to 3. So I'm going to set this up as first 4 over 3 for 4 to 3. 4 yellow marbles for every 3 blue marbles. I also know that there were 20 yellow marbles in the bag. Okay? And so I need to figure out, well, what did I do to 4 to get 20? Well, I multiplied by 5. So if I did 4 times 5 to get 20, I've got to do 3 times 5 to find this number here. 3 times 5 is 15. All right? So I find that there are 15 yellow marbles. All right? Let's go on to the next example. This situation's a little bit different, but it's still not that hard. A bag contains cubes and circles. You are given the total number of shapes in the bag and the ratio of cubes to circles. How many of each shape are in the bag? So it's the same sort of thing, just slightly different. We have a bag. Inside that bag are cubes and circles. The problem is going to tell us the total number of shapes that are in the bag, the total number of cubes and circles combined. And it's also going to give us the ratio of cubes to circles. So how many of each shape are in the bag? Well, I know that there are, for every 4 cubes, there are 2 circles. 4 cubes and 2 circles. That, to me, when I think about that, I think, well, 4 plus 2 equals 6. And that's 6 shapes. So every time I have 4 cubes or 2 circles, that gives me 6 shapes. Well, I see that I have a total of 18 shapes. I think, well, what do I do to 6 to get 18? Well, I'm going to multiply it by 3. 6 times 3 is what gives me 18. Well, if I have 4 cubes and 2 circles. And that gives me 6. And I have to multiply 3 to get 18. That tells me that I'm going to do times 3 times 3. Well, 4 times 3 is 12. 2 times 3 is 6. And if I add 12 plus 6, I see that that gives me 18. So if there's 18 shapes in the bag, that tells me that there's a total of 12 cubes and 6 circles. Let's look at another one. 94 shapes in the bag, 20 for every 27. So the first thing I want to think about is, well, what is 20 plus 27? Well, 20 plus 27 equals 47. All right, and then I think, well, what did I do to 47? Okay, what did I do to get 94? Well, I'm thinking it's all about multiplication and division. Remember, we're not adding. So I'm thinking, well, I must have multiplied because it's getting bigger. And so I'm going to just try 47 times 2 to see what I end up with. 2 times 7 is 14. Put the 4 down, carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Sure enough, I did 47 times 2 equals 94. So just like I did in this previous problem, I'm going to set it up as 20 cubes, 27 circles, and I have to multiply them both by 2 to get my 94. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give us a little more space here because I've already established that I'm multiplying by 2. 20 times 2 is 40. 27 times 2 is 54. And if I were to actually add 40 plus 54, I would see that indeed that would equal 94 for my 94 shapes. So that tells me that in this problem, I ended up with 40 cubes and 54 circles in that ratio of cubes to circles. All right, we'll talk a little bit more about this in class. Talk to you later, 6th grade. Bye.